365 Sports.
All right. Seahawks recap. You said that there was one glaring issue that you could see. What is that?
The coaching from Shane Steichen.
Ooh. Explain just a little bit.
I think there was a lot of different calls that you could have made in the game. I think you could have let Phillip throw the ball a little bit more rather than playing conservative. He threw it barely over 20 times, I believe.
27, I believe.
Which is not that many.
Yeah.
I mean, you normally have about 30 designed pass plays in a game.
Yeah.
Especially for the Colts because you run the ball a lot. But I just felt like you needed to do more. Also, they were all short throws, nothing medium or intermediate, which means you just don't trust his arm. Kind of surprising. But I think there's a lot of things that Shane could have done differently.
Well,
so
we'll get into maybe a little bit more. My name is Liam. This is my son. My name is Kevin. He's Liam.
Yes.
We're not doing a different thing today. And happy to present 365 Sports Indiana for the 365 Sports Network. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Here we go. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at 365 Sports Indiana. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
Injuries.
What a game. Oh, injuries. We're not going to go through all of our normal stuff. We're just going to react to the game the way that we saw it.
Mooney didn't play?
No, he didn't.
So that was a little bit weird.
Mekhi Blackman had this kind of game.
And what was frustrating, I saw this a lot on social media as well. What was frustrating is Jalen Jones he hardly got any playing time. He hardly got any playing time above Chris Lamons and Mekhi Blackman, who I would say Jones is better than both of them.
Yeah, Lamons is supposed to be like Kenny Moore's backup in the slot. I don't know. All I know is 18-16, and you were right there.
Yeah.
But
you held one of the best offenses to 6 field goals. No touchdowns. 6 field goals, which is crazy. Well done by Lou's defense. Although people were saying that, his coaching wasn't good. Lou's coaching was great, except the very last drive, but kind of got unlucky there.
I mean, you got one turnover when you're trying to push the ball down the field, try to, get something back at the very end. And you gave up one big play. But in this league, that can be the difference between wins and losses.
Yep.
I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. Phillip Rivers overall, I would say, yes, didn't push the ball down the field. Arm strength may not be there, but the balls he did throw, for the most part, were he threw some tight window, and they were just shoop right there, shoop. Where they needed to be. As I said, I did not have any qualms about the head, right? But as we said, there are three things, big elements that come into play in quarterback. The knowledge is one thing. What's the other?
The way your body is. There's the accuracy and arm, and then the rest of your body.
Right. So your arm and then the athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem necessarily with either one of the first two, but it's the athleticism that is a problem. And you came up with a creative kind of potential solution to this.
Mm-hmm. Very much like what the Saints do with Taysom Hill, except more towards quarterback side, meaning Riley Leonard or AR, either one, because AR is medically cleared now.
Yep.
Both of them know the system because they've been in the system for at least this season. And both of them are athletic. So just different scenarios. Not even you put Taysom Hill in for the Saints, more than likely he's going to run something out of Wildcat.
Yep.
But in this scenario, just put a whole drive for one of them, meaning, you don't just have one play that's, it's going to be Wildcat. It doesn't have to be that. You can put Riley in there for a whole drive and, run some option stuff because he's very fast, very elusive. Run like a triple option with Warren, him, and JT, something like that. And then have him throw the ball a couple times as well. Like, it doesn't have to be very Taysom Hill, but because they are quarterbacks, but still.
Now, see, I push back because I say that this has not necessarily been done. There's only been, I think, one other team in the modern era that has done this, where they've actually flipped drives back and forth between quarterbacks. And so I pushed back, but at the same time, I thought of it this way, of a bowling analogy. Everybody used to put the two fingers in the middle and the thumb in the holes, and now a whole bunch of people just do the two-handed spin because one guy started doing it. Now, this is a different sport, but if nobody breaks the mold to do something different, then the mold never gets broken and you don't have these possibilities.
Very true.
Is it a possibility? I would say, they've already hired an NFL analyst as a coach, and they've already pulled a 44-year-old grandpa back into play quarterback. So,
Yep.
Of any team to try it out, why not?
Yeah.
So, back to this game then. What's your Mayflower move of the game-changing play?
I think kind of just as a whole, I don't have a specific play in mind, but
Yeah.
I think love it. Blake Grupe, by the way, 60-yarder, longest in franchise history. Congrats to him. But I think it didn't have to be a 60-yarder. I think the coaching of Shane on that specific drive was not good, and that was the Mayflower move, his coaching on that drive, because I feel like if you just wasted more time, even if you kept it 60 yards, great, he hit a 60-yarder, that's cool. But it didn't have to be that long because I think you needed one more first down. So you could have ran all the clock down and then kicked the field goal. So I just think there's a lot of different ways to go about it. And I think that Shane's coaching was very questionable in the latter half of the fourth quarter.
I'm going to push pause on my Mayflower move and dive into a little bit more of this, because I also think that Shane Steichen right now is playing not to lose, rather than taking a book from Herman Edwards, and that is to play to win the game, right? And so I think that is an issue. So you are in sports management classes at your college.
Yeah.
So how would you say that he is doing? How would you handle this situation? Even from an ownership standpoint, now you have a GM who has, over the past almost 10 years, 9 years, something like that, shown that they can't get over the hump, and a third-year head coach that seems to be at a plateau.
First things first, Chris, I actually think, took really big strides this year. He went out and got the players he needed to get to win now.
Okay.
Because that is the plan.
And they aren't. But
how many of those signings, the big one that I think of is Sauce Gardner. You went out, got Sauce Gardner, and it worked. It was working. It just so happened that Sauce and Mooney never played a full game together.
No, they
at
didn't.
all.
Yep.
Sauce got hurt, and Mooney has been hurt.
Yep.
But Sauce has been there to help and stuff like that. And I think it was a great signing. It's a lot of money for the future. But if you're planning to win now, I think that's exactly what you needed to do to go out and get him. And then you think of the Mooney signing in the offseason. That was big. The Cam Bynum signing, that was big.
Yep.
By the way, he's in my opinion, the best player on the Indy defense.
All right.
And then you think about the Lou signing. I think that was really good as well, because that in like GMs, that's their job, to go out, sign people, manage kind of finance stuff, and go get other coaches.
Yeah.
So Lou, he went out, got Lou, and our second best defensive player, Leatu Latu, is making huge strides because of what Lou can do. Look at what he did with Trey Hendrickson. He can do that with Latu. So I actually don't think Chris is the problem here. I think it is Shane. You mentioned the plateau. I agree. I think he is plateauing. I think you give him to the end of the season, see what he does, and then I honestly don't know what decision you make at that point. I'm very thankful I'm not the GM at this current moment, but you got to make the hard decision whether you think he is the guy or if you think that if you stick with him for another year or two, see how it's going, or if you think that he doesn't have what it takes to get it done and he's just a coordinator. Because I think he's a terrific coordinator, but we haven't seen any great things from him.
I think that he was hampered as a head coach when he had to manage a terrible defensive coordinator in Gus Bradley, and then he gets all this credit for play calling, but it hasn't really ever come together other than just a few games toward the beginning of his tenure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My Mayflower move of the game is the huge JSN catch on their final drive to get them in position to retake the lead with a field goal. Very unfortunate set of circumstances, but that's how it kind of goes sometimes. So that leads us to our all-in player, or our player of star of the game. There we go. It's been a little bit. We are a little rusty. So this is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. If you see, or if we talk about any players you want to put some money on, use Underdog Fantasy Sports. Check this out from them. Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code COLTS to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code COLTS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks. Win money. Must be 18 and up, 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. All right, your star of the game.
There's a lot of people that just kind of played mediocre, and that's kind of the score reflected on that a lot. And I'll give a Colts and Seahawks player because I don't know if either team really deserves one. But I'm gonna say Latu because he was in there all the time, making the plays, buying him a close second. But on the Seahawks, I think I got to give it to, I believe his first name is Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
Kicker for the Seahawks. He was the only points on the Seahawks. So
there you go.
Props to him.
I'm going to give it to the Colts kicker, Blake Groupie. Third kicker of this season. And looks like a kid, but kicks like a man. So I'm going to give it to him. Should have been a game winner. Could have been, but it just wasn't. But yeah, that's all the time that we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Or no, we'll be back a little bit later today with our Unstable Pick 6 NFL predictions. And then we'll have a keep the pace, look at the Pacers, a candy stripe clear out, look at IU basketball, and our preview of the Colts hosting the Niners with the primetime debut of the Indiana Knights uniforms. Just a couple seasons after they were debuted and called the Indiana Knights, we finally get to see them at night.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay 365 Sports Indiana.
365 Sports